Hi everyone, my name's Katie. For those of you who haven't seen my other videos, these vlogs were supposed to start off as a little video diary about my pregnancy and how I was coping, and just to chat about extra things to do with the child care that I was doing whilst bringing up my 2-year-old, and some of the things that I found when I was bringing her up. It's been a little while since I posted a video. That's because about 8 weeks ago I had a miscarriage at 7 weeks pregnant. So yeah, I've been kind of getting over that recently. So today's video is more of an emotional frustration vent more than an information video for anyone else out there, I'm afraid. So all you're getting is me ranting about my issues and frustrations during the last 8 weeks, and what I found post miscarriage, really. The first week after my miscarriage was crap, as you can imagine, both emotionally and physically, because I had about a week-long really heavy period, and which is understandable, isn't it? Just the sheer nature of what the body's trying to do. But it just wasn't pleasant to experience, and but I felt okay myself, so I still carried on working. I found that emotionally carrying on working really helped for me. So I felt that although my work was totally understandable, and they did tell me if I wanted to take any extra time off work then I should, but for me I felt like I just wanted to crack on and get on with stuff rather than sat at home, because I felt like if I sat at home, what would I do? I would just sit and think about it for too much. So at least at work I was able to just crack on and to get on and be distracted, really. And I think that's important when you're going through something quite traumatic like that, is that your brain needs to sometimes not focus on it, because you'll just fatigue yourself with worry. So having that kind of distraction going on in the background for me really helped. I understand with some people it's important to take a little bit of time off to just not only help you recover mentally, but also help you recover physically. So I felt like I didn't really need to take any time off. So for me, work was really important in my recovery, actually. So my first period happened around 3 weeks after the miscarriage, which was quicker than my normal period would be. I'm on a smack bang 28-day cycle, so for me having an early period was a bit of a shock. It was also a bit disappointing because we were told by the nurse, the specialist nurse that we chatted to after my miscarriage, that it's actually possible to get pregnant within 2 weeks after having a miscarriage, as long as you feel ready to, because you can start ovulating again. So that was, I suppose you could say, a nice thing to hear. They only really say that you should wait for a period first before trying again, because it helps them be able to date the pregnancy better. But we were told by the nurse that treated us for miscarriage that there was no reason for us not to try again almost immediately after the miscarriage. So this is what we did, and unfortunately my period came regardless. So so that was a bit disappointing, but at the same time we kind of thought, well, at least my body's getting back to normal. And then so we then tried to wait until I ovulated again after that period, which in the beginning I tried to use ovulation strips, but they kept coming back negative all the way through, and I don't know whether that's because I wasn't ovulating or whether there was a shift in the pattern, or whether if I'm completely honest, I'm not quite sure. The more I researched into how the strips work, the more confused I was about how they worked. So something like there can sometimes be a really small window on which your hormone level that detects when you're about to ovulate can happen, and sometimes if you just simply miss that window and you pee on the stick or you do a little dip test, and it doesn't work, that doesn't mean you haven't ovulated. It just means that you haven't tested at a particular time. So I just got frustrated with these. So although I bought a massive box full of these bloody things, I decided to stop using them and just go by what my body was telling me. And I always knew that my body was telling me that I was ovulating, because I'd always get my body temperature get slightly elevated, so I just generally feel hotter. My skin would get really good. I don't know what it is, but I always remember that everything would get nicer. My hair would get nicer, my skin would get nicer. I think it's like your body's way of making you more attractive, which I went for. I used it. And I think also the main thing that I found is that you end up getting quite yucky discharge. So your discharge actually increases, and mine used to quite heavily over the period that I was ovulating. Apparently this is a discharge that body makes to help sperm track up your cervix and help get to the egg. So this is how I knew that I was ovulating. And so I decided to go on what my body was telling me rather than what this ovulation stick was telling me. So I did that, and we tried again the month just gone, and unfortunately this morning, I found out that I was on my period again. So, which was devastating really, because according to my calculations, I should have come on my period 3 days ago. So a part of me thought I could have been pregnant again. And I think a lot of me really hoped that I was. And I don't know whether it was my body playing tricks on me, but I just felt like I was. I was getting abdominal cramping, my boobs felt sore, all the things. And then it makes sense. Of course, these are all things that come with you about to have your normal period. And I think in my head, I just convinced myself that we're having a baby again. But unfortunately not. So that was a bit sad. So I'm a little bit sad today. So I'm going to have a very awkward, teary slap of coffee to make myself feel better. So yeah, I think the main reasons I'm sad are the obvious ones, really. One, I'm not pregnant, and I thought I was, and I was always convinced I was. So that was the worst part. And number two, I think I'm just frustrated with not being in control. I feel like I'm trying to do everything right. And the thing is, I don't really have too much to complain about, because, we already have a gorgeous little girl, and we fell pregnant again quite soon after we started trying for the second baby. And I don't know what's going on with my body now. Like, my period is early, then it's late, and I feel like I can't track anything. And the worst part is that I feel like we've got an exciting idea in our heads, we want to have another child. And it's such a life-changing decision. It's huge. Especially when you've gone through so much when having your first child, and you know it's going to be stressful, and you know it's going to be sleepless nights and, you know, shitty nappies and all the rest of it. You know it's going to be all of that. And so to make that decision despite all of that is such a huge deal. And then to then work up the enthusiasm and the motivation and the excitement to do this wonderful thing, just to find out it's not working, there's almost like a little bit of, like, the motivation starts to lack a little bit, and you start to feel like, oh, like, why are we trying to do this again? Like, it makes you doubt yourself. And as I said, we have nothing to complain about. We've only been trying now for the second baby for 3 months. So, and we've had 1 miscarriage. I can't really complain. You know, we know we can get pregnant. And there's couples out there who go years of trying and go through IVF and all the shit that comes with it and all the emotional turmoil that comes with it. And they still find enthusiasm to carry on. So the thing we're trying to do now, basically, is to carry on. And I had a word with my husband this afternoon, and he has been awesome as usual. He just really held the enthusiasm, which I really needed to hear, because it's one thing for you to lack enthusiasm because of the situation, but it's when you're trying to keep the enthusiasm for both you and your husband, because you're worried your husband might change his mind, which is always, you know, we've decided we want another child, but when things take longer and you start to question everything, you then, as I said, start to lose track of the reasons why you wanted it to happen. And but he kind of put my mind at rest, and he's been awesome. So it's made me feel a little bit better. We just pick ourselves up, try again next month. It'll be fine. It's not that it'll never happen, it's just not happening now. And there might be a reason for this, you know, there might be a reason why it didn't happen. A very, very good, very valid reason that we have not got a healthy baby brewing yet. So you've got to look at it as what will be, will be. On the plus side, I was invited to some birthday drinks on Thursday. I wasn't going to go because part of me, in my little weird brain, thought that I might have been pregnant and there's no way I was going to get away with not drinking in front of a bunch of very drunk people. So I can now go. Yay! I'm going to get drunk. Just because I can. We're also going to France next weekend, you know, the country of gorgeous wine and blue cheese. So, ditto to the last comment, I get to drink and eat amazing food and not feel guilty about it one bit. So, again, another positive. And of course, the main positive, I suppose, is that we get to have lots of sex again. Usually is a good excuse. So I hope my husband doesn't hear this. So yeah, I just thought I would keep you up to date with what's going on in my life, because I realised that I haven't sent a video in a while. So hopefully next time I put up a video it will be with much better news, but I'll obviously keep you up to date. And sorry for crying a lot through this. It's been a shit week, but onwards and upwards, as they say.